starting.
Often starting.
Often starting. Got some sticky shit on.
It's probably not jizzing. Are you sure we're often starting?
Yeah. This smells like
It smells like beer.
it smells like soda or something. Well, I'm Matt Bonta.
And I'm Corey Easley.
And we are back with Sequel Podcast. Now,
Volume-
No.
Oh, God.
Hold on now. So, formerly Volume 3, I've felt like just going back to the old count. So, if this is Volume 3, and I had a Volume 2 prior to this, then number 1, we're going to add Volume 2's count on top of number 1, and this on top of that. I'm not sure what our numbers are, but we'll
For
figure
today,
it out.
we'll call it 42.
No, I'm way past that.
100.
We're pretty close to 100. Pretty close to 100.
Very good.
And our beer of choice today is the Game of Thrones Valor Margolis Double Ale.
Interesting. No, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
It's got a chocolatey flavor. Fuck.
I'd say interesting because it's complex.
It is. Actually, you know what?
It's-
It's a really good word to put it to it.
It's pleasantly complex, in fact. It's not like some beers where you take a drink and you don't really know what the fuck you're after or what to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got a. I think chocolatey was a good note.
You can definitely.
It's a deep, rich flavor with some
And you like it?
chocolatey tones. Yeah, it's actually quite tasty.
So Corey, last time we talked was prior to Christmas, or no,
Still
sorry,
prior to Christmas.
prior to Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So we made a promise on the last episode of what the next episode would be, but I'm waiting on a third party to join us for that.
Okay.
Waiting for him to be available for us to do that Predator commentary.
Very good. So anybody who was coming ready,
Hoping for
this
Predator.
week, hoping for Predator commentary, fuck you very kindly, and we'll have to get at that later.
I will say this, that I did watch it. I watched it again for preparation.
Right?
Did you watch it again?
I have not watched.
Do you own that movie?
I do own that.
Well, this gives you opportunity to watch it so that you can take it all in.
Be
Because
fresh.
when we watch it, we're going to turn the sound off.
Right.
So I will not discuss Predator as much as I would like to.
Very good.
I will not discuss Predator.
How about your collection there is growing? Or are those ones you already had?
A little from column A, a little from column B.
Okay. Yeah, because you got
I got Dutch up there now.
yeah, you got Dutch and the
T1000,
T800.
T800. Oh, fucking calm down!
Model 101.
Calm down!
Cyberdyne Systems Model 101.
Calm your shit.
So yeah, very cool.
I want to get a Conan. That's the only other one to make a figure of.
They don't make a figure from Junior or
Raw deal.
what's the P stand for? Joseph P. Brennan.
Joseph P. Brenner. So how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. It was uneventful, which I appreciate.
Where did you have it?
It was at my house. We had
Who came over.
well, we had the mom and the stepdad.
Your mom and your stepdad.
Yes, my mom and stepdad, and my cousin, my little brother and his girlfriend and her kids. The neighbors from across the street.
Your brother's got a girlfriend.
He does, and she has
And
kids.
she's got kids.
Yeah, let's leave that one alone.
It's okay. We won't touch it.
Not not in a bad way. Just it's messy. And I'll leave it alone.
We don't want to air dirty laundry.
Yeah, it stinks enough already. Hanging out with Matt here. Hasn't had a shower since he got home from the warehouse.
That's true. I have not had a shower
Yeah.
since I got home from the warehouse.
It just smells like balls in here.
Yeah, whatever. Or as
But,
Rose
so-
would put it, Matthew smell.
Matthew smell. That's your lady's nice way of telling you to take a fucking shower.
Yeah, but I mean, that smells around even after I shower. That's my natural
It
body
is.
odor.
It is Matt smell.
Natural. Keep it to yourself.
So yeah, we had 16 people at our house,
16.
which it seems like a lot, and it
And it
seemed
was
like we
still
had.
uneventful.
Yeah, actually, it was weird because usually something happens or somebody gets
dies.
butt hurt and somebody says something to somebody else, and then somebody has to take care of it, and then somebody has to leave, and it was actually pretty nice. Everybody behaved themselves. Oh, and the lady's brother, so my brother-in-law and his kids were over also.
You had a house full of kids and adults who act like kids.
We had everything. And
why wasn't I
but
invited?
Well, I figured you have a family now, and
You did not figure that at all.
and I don't like you that much. No. Well, I started thinking about that. I was like, because I like to try to invite people that I don't think have someplace to go.
I think everyone does that.
Like the neighbors, they have kids, but they were at their mom's house, for that weekend. And I was like, okay, well, we'll just throw it out there. If they want to come over, they'll come over. And most people, we say, oh, you want to come over Thanksgiving? We're just going to go to the casino. Or whatever they're going to do, you know what I mean? If they don't have someplace to go, it's because they don't fucking want to go somewhere.
Sure.
So, I try to throw out the invite to
go?
people that, they actually came, which, was nice. I like hanging out with them and
how old are
and
these
everything.
people?
They're 40s, early 40s, so they're
How old are
a
you?
little bit older than us. I'm 30.
Early 30s?
I'm early 30. Actually, I'm late 30.
Yeah, we're working on that, huh?
I'm working in third.
You're closer
31.
than I am.
Yeah, March. I'll be stepping over the 30 line. Then it won't be novel anymore because I'll be 31.
31 is like, oh,
It was like,
fuck off,
fucking never mind.
douchebag.
So, yeah. But when I started thinking about it, I'm like, maybe I should invite, these people, or I should invite these people. Because I have
Stragglers.
I have some older friends, that they don't necessarily have a lot of family around, and one couple in particular may or may not see this, but
Listen to it.
they may, you know what I mean. They may or may not listen to this. It's a touchy subject. They lost their daughter a couple of years ago, and I was like, I should invite them, and then it's like, if I keep doing that, I end up with 100 people in my house. Like, literally, because it's not like I'm trying to exclude people for any one reason or another. But it's like, people that
there is one reason. You don't want to get up to 100.
Yeah, I don't want to get up to 100, yeah. If I had a huge fucking house, I would invite everybody, and I'd be like, everybody just come over and eat.
That's the dream.
That would be awesome. If
Maybe
you
a
get
couple fights, some drunkens.
Yeah, fuck it, Everybody needs to have a good time.
Were you drunk?
I was working on it. I was not drunk, but I was tying a buzz. That was about as close as I got.
My Thanksgiving consisted of maybe 45 minutes, and it was in and out.
Yeah, where'd you guys go?
Went to Rose's oldest daughter's place. So her husband, and their daughter. And it was me.
Is this the daughter with the little one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was me, Rose, and her youngest daughter, Leah, and my mom.
How'd that go?
It was, like I said, it was in and out.
In and out, like quick like a baby.
Well, Danny works at a graveyard. That's Ivy's husband. He works at graveyard at Harrah's.
Okay.
He slings them cards.
Slinging in cards.
Slings them cards. Baccarat.
Baccarat.
Baccarat. And then, of course, I wake up at 2 o'clock to go into work at 3 a.m. and I work until 3:30 p.m.
God damn.
Every day.
Every day. How's your long stretch going?
I am on day...
You gotta be getting close to that 13, 14 days in a row.
Well, day 13 will be Saturday. So
Okay.
that means 13, 12, 11. I'm on day 10, starting day 11 tomorrow.
Of 12 hours plus.
Of 12 hours. Plus being the half an hour lunch I don't get paid for, but I still am there for, and the drive time to and from.
Right. And now, in the office, the studio here, at
Right.
Casa de Banta.
We are podcasting on a Wednesday afternoon instead of a Thursday night because of my schedule.
But we're making it work for you people.
And yeah, even though we didn't make Predator work.
You know what? We're doing what we can for you, people.
I would like to do a commentary once a month.
I think that's a good number. I think that's a fair something to shoot for.
Right, that's like 3
And
podcasts and a commentary.
I was having this idea since we're kind of just floating around today. We don't have a real hard topic.
I do actually have some important things to discuss.
Important things to discuss.
Very
Okay, well
important
we
things.
we only have 50 more minutes left.
No, we go until we go.
So I was thinking it would be cool because you and I have some neat things to say, and we're relatively opinionated on some things.
It's a good thing we're our only audience. No one else.
No one else listens. No one else gives a shit what we think about our own fucking podcast program.
Right.
But, I was thinking it might be fun, maybe interesting to dice it up a little bit and have like when we do our commentary thing, maybe have like a guest.
Right.
A guest commentator. So,
well, for Predator, I'm waiting on Casey.
Okay.
Casey to become available.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be cool, and then
he's a big Arnold fan like us.
Right.
Not as big as us. Not as big as me. But like he's old school like that. Him and his dad watched all the action movies and everything else, so he fits right in.
Good. Well, I've watched movies with Casey before. He's enjoyable.
You did a commentary.
We did a God Salt commentary with him. But I was just thinking of a couple of people off the top of my head that might be fun to watch particular movies with. My dad being one of them. He was in God Salt.
He wasn't God Salt. He was
inmate number 3.
I believe he stole the show in that one.
He did.
He played Bubba.
He did play Bubba. Did he get a name?
No, he did not.
Okay.
Rapist number 2.
He got a rapist credit.
He got a number.
I'll take the rapist for 500.
Well, what movie would your dad watch? What's his favorite
I
movie?
don't know. He's a more of a sci-fi guy.
He's a sci-fi guy.
So
what if we watched like? I'll scour the titles. I'll browse the titles and pick out a sci-fi movie.
Sure. And I just think it'd be fun to get him on because he's got some crazy ass ideas and he's super opinionated about certain things. So I think it'd be fun.
You wouldn't dominate the conversation too much.
I could tell him to shut the fuck up sometimes, and that might interest bring the interest level up on our program here.
Right.
Have
His arguments. Those are the best podcasts where people are fucking arguing.
They're like on it,
and fucking everyone in the audience is laughing their asses off.
So I think he would be a fun one, and then I'll have to talk to
Patrick. Get like everybody that we know just to do.
We'll bring people in, and it'll be like a little guest commentary. We'll try to pull that off once a month.
Ghostbusters.
I think Black Trick, our good friend.
Racist.
The racist Black Trick.
He deleted me on Facebook at some point.
He actually doesn't delete people on Facebook. What he does is he turns his account on and off based on how he feels.
Mm-hmm.
He can be emo at times. Sorry, Pat, if you're listening to this, but it's true. He can be slightly emotional at times. And he gets tired of people's shit. He's like, seeing too much of this, too much of that, and he's like, fuck it, I don't even want to look at it.
That's what I did.
So he'll turn his
solid 2 months or so.
I remember because I was like, hey, I'm gonna get hold of Matt, because this was back before we were talking a lot, and I even had your phone number. I was like, I'm gonna get a hold of Matt and see what the fuck's up, see what he's doing. And I look him up on Facebook where I had talked to him before, and I'm like, what the fuck? He just deleted his Facebook. He deleted me.
I just deactivated it because I'm tired of bullshit. And now I only reactivated it for this podcast, so I can post it and people can listen. And even then, I maybe check it very often, very rarely.
Very oftenly rare.
Because it's all the same bullshit.
It's a lot of bullshit. It's a lot of the same.
Everyone's bitching about like this is I hate people to do this, and it's like, well, I hate those people too, but it's like.
I don't
want to deal with your problems. I got my own to deal with, and I don't mean that in a rude, condescending, pretentious kind of way.
Except that you do.
But I want to get on there and I want to see how everyone's doing.
That's what I like about it. And people, you look at me and I'm always checking it or looking at it because it's like it's one of those nervous twitch things. It's almost like
that's what I didn't like. It's like suddenly I'm just checking to see if something changed in the last 2 seconds, and I didn't need that.
Yeah,
and I feel great not having it as really a part of my life.
Yeah, and like I said, I look at it way too much. Like I said, it's one of those like nervous twitch things where you're just doing it to fulfill like this stupid urge to see.
Yeah.
And and I can go days at a time without
sure.
looking at it. It doesn't bother me mentally. Some people like fucking freak out if they don't have their phone or if they don't look at their Facebook or whatever. I don't really care that much, but when I have it available...
Well, look, the second that I don't have my phone is the second that something important comes up and I needed it.
Exactly.
And it's not a matter of, I can't check my Facebook. It's a matter of maybe somebody needs to contact
Right,
me.
and maybe somebody needs to get a hold of you, or maybe something happens to you and you need to fucking get a
Right,
hold of
well,
somebody
now
else.
I've got people to take care of and people that take care of me, so...
Yeah. Well, when you have a family, that's what becomes important. My wife and I argue about that on a regular fucking basis. Not in a heated argument kind of way, but this is
every couple argument kind of way.
Yeah, it's just
normal. Let me guess. One of you texts all the time, the other one doesn't, and the one gets pissed off at the other about
pretty close.
You know what? I get into those fights that often too.
She will text me something that I am like, okay, this is informational. Hey, I'm going to go to the grocery store after work, whatever. And there's not a question involved. And sometimes she'll ask me if I need something or whatever, and if she asks me and I say no, I figure that's good enough. Sometimes she'll ask me this question, not ask a question, but make a statement.
Okay.
Make a statement in a text.
That's really a question.
And then later she's like, "Did you get my text earlier?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, you didn't say anything." And I was like,
respond, motherfucker.
I was like, well, like I said, I thought it was informational. I thought it was just you're telling me what's going on, and that's good enough.
It wasn't a response kind of thing.
But it's apparently I misread some of this stuff, and I should at least say okay or see you later or whatever. Right. So, but stuff like that happens. And then the other one that the wife and I get into all the time is that, apparently I fuck with my phone too much, so I'll kill the battery through the course of the day. And then I won't have it. And of course, like you said, the moment you don't have it
is the moment
that somebody needs to get a hold of you. So my phone battery's dead, and now all of a sudden, the lady's trying to call me, or somebody needs to pick
your phone off.
Somebody needs to pick the baby up from school early, or we have this emergency meeting of Parliament.
Call your son the baby like he's fucking a newborn.
He's gonna be 4 at the end of the month.
He walks around and he talks.
He does. He's not a baby anymore. And when you have your own babies, you'll understand. You see this little gnat running around.
Yeah.
With fucking terror.
Yeah.
But, so that kind of shit. As soon as you don't have it on you or in your pocket or fucking paying attention to it, you're not getting some kind of communication that you should be getting. And then that obviously pisses somebody else off, so... But my argument is man, don't you miss the late 80s and the early 90s when you wanted to fucking talk to somebody? So
I would fucking do anything to go back to those days.
I would pay for it.
Or it's oh, they're already out the door. Too late now.
Yeah, if you needed something, you better go get it your damn self, or whatever.
Oh, they're gonna get back here and just gonna have to go back again.
Or you try to call ahead of somebody, if you know that you're. Back when we were kids, your mom's going to go over to somebody's house and then they're going to go to the store. You're calling that person at the house. All right, when my mom gets there, tell them to call me back. But, if you needed to get a hold of somebody and you called their house and they weren't there, you either left a message on the fucking voicemail or
rang for an hour. Before you hung up.
What are the answering machine. It's not even a fucking answering machine anymore. It's fucking just a voicemail. So,
no one leaves messages on.
I know, and that pisses me off. If you call me and you don't leave a voicemail, I assume it's not important. I assume that you didn't actually want to talk to me, or it was a mistake that you called. So, either fucking text me or leave a goddamn voice message.
Oh, fuck.
It's gonna get deep in here.
Almost as good as your Sean Connery fucking scab joke.
Yeah, that was pretty good too.
That's a highlight of my life, that joke that you made. That's one for the record book. I mean, I thought it was funny. I don't know if anyone else... I laugh at weird things.
You're a weird person.
I catch everything, and I see the humor in all of it. But, it's not easy being... Green? The only guy in the room that understands everything, and that Once again, not saying that in any kind of pretentious, kind of cocky.
No, but you have
arrogant
a wide variety of things that you
I cast a
appreciate
wide
and enjoy.
net.
Yeah.
And then being, maybe with somebody that doesn't necessarily grab everything and kind of just catches the surface stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think a lot of, like, I don't know if I'm allowed to call myself a hardcore movie guy, but, like, I like movies. Like, I really get into watching movies and what they mean, and I try to look for deeper meaning and stuff. I don't just like, oh, that was a nice movie, surface story, and then it's over for me. So I try to dig deeper on a lot of things, and then, like the wife, she doesn't. Like, if it's not her kind of movie, she's just like, take it or leave it. She enjoys, good action flick every now and then, but she prefers, the lighter side of things.
Right, as we discussed before.
Yeah, but, I throw out movie references, or I'll say something, say a movie line at random, and she just stares at me. Like I've whipped out my dick and pissed on the floor,
Here's a prime example. So Game of Thrones, which I'm kind of obsessed with.
Yes, you are.
You watch it once. You might not grab everything the first time through, and the first season in particular. There's a lot of characters and a lot of business going on. Now I watch the show and I reference everything back to the books. So I've got all that information, and if I don't, I seek out that information. Now, I've got a buddy of mine at work. I told him to go back and rewatch it, and now we have these almost daily conversations about everything that he's suddenly picking up on. And there's just a lot there. Because not only is the show primarily about everything that's going on now, there's a huge backstory that affects everything also that's going on now.
Yeah, and you'll get that with even movie series.
Sure, maybe, but like, look.
I mean, the show's a lot deeper than the books are huge.
Books are 1,000-page books a piece.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not saying that it's just like every other movie book or
I
story.
know.
But I mean, there's a lot of stuff that people, if you don't pay attention, you don't go back and pay attention to it, you're not going to get that out of it. And some people don't care to dig that far. Right. Some people don't care to look for that deeper meaning or that backstory that they're glossing over when they're watching the show for the first time. And I look for that backstory. I like to look for where... Rude. I like to look for where that character came from, or why certain events came unfold the way they did.
Everybody suddenly freaks out because that's the ringtone from One Missed Call. They're like, oh my god.
Oh, no, these fucking guys!
It's gonna die!
Run, bitch, run! He's gonna kill you!
But yeah.
So.
Backstory.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And I don't know, I think you can get a lot of good entertainment out of stuff like that. If you care to pay attention.
Absolutely. And Game of Thrones people, go out there, look for it, watch it, read it, talk about it. Hopefully Corey will watch it one of these days.
Yeah, I'll have to get past the 3rd episode.
Alright, so now let's get to the heart of things. So I've had a couple of major revelations yesterday. Regarding my life, my future, the things I like to do,
such
making
as
movies,
movie making. Okay.
Right.
I'm glad that you didn't say masturbating.
Rhymes with movie making.
Okay.
So, I make movies, right? You've been there.
It's good times.
It is. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to get everyone together. You become a family for a few weeks, a couple months. You put something together. You got something proud of to look at, and you can be proud of it. You can very much be proud of it. But it can also be very, very, very disheartening sometimes when it seems like nobody gives a shit. So you and I and several other people, we spent a good 2 to 3 months physically making a movie. Actually putting it, grabbing a camera, getting together, going out in the streets, going into the houses, memorizing lines, doing blocking, buying props, buying costumes, putting them on, using them, talking to each other, getting in fights, heated arguments, fucking dealing with shit fucking up, everything else. Good 2 to 3 months doing all that. Not necessarily every day, closer to every other day, closer to once a week. but you're living with this for those 2 to 3 months.
Yeah,
I'm doing this tomorrow. When do you need me? You know, me every single day.
You're in constant contact. Yeah, you're in constant contact with all the people you're working with.
Right. Now, I spent a good 2 months prior to that writing the movie, prepping the movie, pre-production, and then another good 2 months after that, post-production, the screening. And in addition to that, once the movie was made and everything else like that, I happened to submit it to 5 or 6 film festivals. So, you know, we do all this. We reset our lives so that we can get together and that we can make these movies. We put down money, blah, blah, blah. And it's a lot of hard work. And we all did this on our free time. We all did this
with our own money.
With our own money, out of pocket. Didn't get any money from anybody. And, you know, risking getting arrested. Maybe. You know, we kept it safe.
It was relatively safe. There were a couple of times where it was distinctly possible for us to get arrested.
Right, the cop would come by or something like that. But we kept it safe. And, you know, this one in particular, God Salt, I don't think we had any cops show up anywhere like previous movies. But, like, we're not doing this necessarily in an illegal way, but we're not getting permits. But then again, we're not closing anything off. We're not doing anything like that.
Right.
Guerrilla style filmmaking. And like I was saying, we put a lot of work into these. And
it feels like nobody fucking cares.
It feels like nobody cares. You know, especially when I put it into so many film festivals. 6 isn't really so many because there's a million infinity out there.
Right.
But it's not easy to do that when they're asking for money. They want close upwards towards $100 or more each per submission.
And that's just to submit it, just to see if the people running the submission
grocery shopping
will look at it. If they will even look at it.
If they'll even look at it. We're paying them to watch the movie to tell us no.
Yes.
So out of these 6, I think it was 6 film festivals, one of them was free. Out of these 6 film festivals, all of them said no. Like the first rejection, now the first rejection was not a total loss. The first rejection got us onto the Internet Movie Database, got us all credits on the Internet Movie Database, including yours truly. You are now an actor and a special effects guy. I don't know if you were anywhere else on there.
I was not. But except for a couple of things I did with Arnold, but they weren't
Arnold.
No big deal. I'm kidding. I'm fucking with you. Stop it.
You know, so that first one got us in and got us on the internet, got us where everyone is. We don't have any pictures or anything else like that, but it's all on there. That's what the first failure did to us, which was a good thing. So it's like, okay, I didn't expect to get into the first one. It was kind of a medium to bigger kind of film festival. Okay, I get it. And then rejection after rejection after rejection, and waiting to hear rejection. And the last one didn't even inform me. The last one I went seeking and saw that it said, oh, you know, choices made, rejected or whatever. And it's, it killed me more and more each time, you know. And so with that said, I came to the conclusion that it's like, I really just want to make probably one more. Not to hurt anybody's feelings, but I want to at least make one more movie. Because, like, I'm getting too old to try and fucking bother with this shit that no one cares about. Like, and it's not giving up. No, hold on. I'm not talking.
Go ahead.
I'm not giving up. You know, and nothing is forcing this. You know, it's just like, I've been trying hard for a long time. And God Salt was probably my best effort. You know, all original music, all great acting. It was all me, writing and directing. You know, and I got everyone to do a great job. And the movie looks good. It was a lot of fun, and we had a lot of fun doing it. But it feels like even the smallest amount of something would help to be like, okay. But it's like, it's God Salt seemed to cut a lot of ties with a lot of people, and I don't have the resources I once had, and it seems like no one is interested, and everyone's kind of moved on. There are people I don't talk to anymore, people I'm like, don't want to talk to me anymore. Like, God Salt literally fucking...
It ruined lives.
God Salt has ruined fucking lives. That movie, it
I've-
really is a
I've-
stain. It's a stain. Now, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm using it as the best example. God Salt has stained a lot of things in my life in particular. I don't know about anybody else, but it has stained my life. And that's just life. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it happened. And I'm not regretting anything. I'm not, wishing I could take it back. But it did. And it opened up my eyes a little bit more towards things. And so yesterday I was thinking about, okay, I want to make another movie, blah, 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 but I don't want to keep making movies for no reason. And not to say that if I were to keep making movies, it would be for no reason. Absolutely not. I'm making them for me. I'm making them for us. We're doing it for us. We're doing
The
it for
reason
me.
is always to have creative outlet, I think.
And, I can be creative, and I can write a bunch of other things, and I can sit here and I can podcast with you, and I can podcast with other people, and I could write a million other things, but I can't kill myself and, break the bank, money that I need to survive, if it's going to go nowhere. And, that's not to say, like, oh, no, keep going, you'll get there someday. I'm 30 years old.
I know there's 50-year-old independent filmmakers that have never made anything that anybody's ever seen, so...
And it's not just an age thing, it's a life thing. Like, I'm not having this revelation, like you said, at 50. I'm not having this revelation at 20, to where I'm right there, probably at a very, natural middle point in someone's life. And, in particular, I've got things going on with my life that will probably take me away from here, and I probably only have one more opportunity to make a movie in America. And I want to do that. And you know what? I'm not going to give up when I move, because I also do want to look for the same kind of situation if I move to the Philippines. So I'm not just...
Well, your dollars might go a little farther there, too.
Right, and someone else's dollars might see potential in me. It seems like the way they make movies is the way they used to make movies back in the 30s and the 40s and 50s, where it was a studio system. Studios have certain actors, and they only make movies with their actors, and they're all on contract for them. And they never cross over, I don't think. That's the way they do things in the Philippines. And
so maybe
it seems more like I can walk in and put in an application and get a job there. Maybe play around and do something that I want to do.
Writing or...
Right, and then maybe hopefully trickle it back over here. I don't know. But for now, I want to, at the very least... And you know what? No one knows what the future holds for anybody. I'm saying this now, and things can change in any million different directions. But for now...
It's a funny thing about life.
My finality, for now, is to make one more movie and work my ass off at making it. And as I mentioned to Corey, and I sent that same text to Greg and Casey, like, let's screen God Salt one more time, and I want to use this opportunity to pick up some interest for the next one, because I don't have the actors I had anymore. I don't have the resources I used to have.
Sure.
I only basically hang out with the people or talk to the people I work with now. None of them are actors. None of them are interested in being in movies. I don't talk to Patrick anymore. I don't talk to Kelly.
I thought that was weird, but at the same time, I can see that happening after putting in so much effort.
No,
and
nothing.
And not just because of the effort that was due to make the movie, but it was stressful. For a lot of people, it was emotionally and personally stressful for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons.
The bullshit that I went through on the making of behind the scenes of God Salt. Maybe we'll comment on that one day, with a 10-year anniversary of God Salt.
I think it's important as far as...
I had a lot of behind the scenes things going on. Patrick had a lot of behind the scenes things going on. Kelly did.
Oh, yeah.
Several other actors. The newbies that we barely saw, only really kind of got to meet. I don't know but I don't think they were affected too much by God Salt. They made a movie, they were in, they were out. But the people who were close to each other in that movie...
There was some tragic loss there.
There was, it happens on some movies. Sometimes you make a movie and you make a movie. Sometimes you make a movie and your life changes because of it.
Sure.
That's kind of what happened to a few of us. So there was there was collateral damage with this movie.
Absolutely.
And there's probably collateral damage with every movie for some.
I think even in Hollywood on the big screen,
yeah,
when you have these professional actors that are making shitloads of money, and these directors that are spending shitloads of money, you know, these production companies that are putting all this money and all this effort into doing stuff, and you have huge crews and all these people, you still have that collateral damage. There will always be, you know, the changing of lives and collateral damage within the community of the movie that you're making.
Yeah.
Because people, like we said, I mean, even on our small scale, small production movie, we were living together as much as we were interacting. I mean, we were always on top of each other. We were like, hey, when you have this, or when can you be here? All
I need you. Where are you? Where are you?
Yeah, and you're hammering on people to do stuff, and you're trying to get, you know, everything handled, and you're trying to get the scenes to pull off, and you're fighting with light because, you know, we don't have these big light crews, and, you know, we don't have our own sun and all this stuff. You know, we had to work with what we had, and if we blew it on one day, that day was fucked, and you don't get that day back. You know, maybe that person that you were waiting for that one day isn't available for another month.
God, the availability of people was insane.
It's like that, but when you work so closely with people, you have emotional attachments. Think about theater. You know, when we were doing stage theater, it's the same, and it was high school.
10 to 15 of us kicking around every day.
But every day you're spending time with each other, and in a very intimate setting. And you live with each other.
I was thinking about this the other day. Do you remember fucking on Camelot, Brandon and Jeff, they got into a huge fight like the day before opening night. Do you remember that?
I don't remember the fight.
I don't remember the fight, but they were fucking.
What was it about?
I don't remember what it was about, but they were at each other's throats. It seemed like, because I remember, you know, they had a backgammon set that they were, you know, fucking around with in the scene.
Right.
And, like, I know Brandon was like, oh, I wrote fuck you and that, you know, showed it to Jeff with the pieces. He was like, fuck you, or something along those lines. And I just remember they were fighting and they had to play like friends, good buddies, and this.
They were really close, yeah.
They were close before that, and then they got into a fight, you know, in real life, and suddenly they're still, you know.
You still have to play friends. You still have to play nicey.
You know, they eventually got over whatever it was, but it's like, you know, opening night and they're fucking
at each other's throats, yeah.
Fitting.
So, I think with any kind of theatrical community, you're going to have that. It's always going to be that way. It doesn't matter how the size of your production, I don't think. And so it's because people care. It's because people are throwing themselves into
the role. You know, maybe it's a very angry person, a very evil person, a very dangerous person. And it's sometimes, even if you're not going method, even if you're not throwing yourself into the role, you
spend
still
so much time
take a little piece of that away.
Take
a little piece of that away, no matter how into it you are or not. Like,
you spend so much time being that person on screen that you end up taking some of that with you, and you take part of that on. And the manufactured drama that we create with a script and we create with a scene where you're putting people in situations where there are tough things going on.
There's a little trickle there.
Yeah, and I think emotionally and as far as just a regular human condition goes, you have to. You become that. And I think you probably get some of that from a lot of, you know, even good actors, A-list actors.
A-list actors, you know, you put yourself into a role, it's, you know, you put on your clothes, you still have to get out of them.
That's why you never go full retard.
It's hard. You know, I know Patrick, post God's Salt in his life, he kind of had his own revelations and wanted to throw away what Cheese was. He created Detective Ronald Cheese was the character he created back when he was like 15 years old. He created Cheese. Now I own the copyright on both Streaming Payment and God's Salt, which both feature Cheese. Patrick owns no copyrights on that character, so basically I have the biggest claim on it. But Patrick did create Cheese. What he created was a shitty cop. You know, a shitty cop that does cocaine, beats his wife, and scams whoever he can scam. Now, other people took this character and made it into that same kind of cop, but in the end, he always got the bad guy, did the right thing. Kind of. You know, like they say, you know, it's like there are certain people that do bad things and like have good intentions. Well, the road to hell is paved with intentions. She's absolutely knows he's going to hell.
Right.
But he knows when to do the right thing. You know, him snorting cocaine isn't hurting anybody.
Right.
Him beating his wife is only hurting his wife.
And that's all. It just hurt his old lady.
You know, but that's one of those things that's sending him to hell. But like, at the beginning of these movies, there's a crime to solve, and it gets solved by the end of it. By you know, shit or shine, as they say, as you say,
as they say.
You know, Godsalt being a prime example. Like Cheese's head. You know, he's doing cocaine, he's cheating on his wife, but he's also starting to get feelings for someone that he never thought he'd get feelings for. And vice versa with her. And he's forced in a situation that he does not want to be in. Like, he's like, look, dudes, I'm just a cop doing what I want to do. I don't want to take care of this little girl, this child. So he's yelling at her and everything else like that. And
he's lashing out.
He's lashing out at her.
Absolutely.
And he wants to beat her. He
lashes out at the little girl. He lashes out at his wife.
And he gets
for his situation.
Right, and he's hopped up on cocaine and everything
Which
else,
doesn't
with
help.
the emotions, and he's kind of bonds with the little girl a little bit, but he does get to a point at the end of the movie where he makes the decision and commits to an action that he didn't want to do, but he had to do based on the situation that he was in.
Sure.
And maybe it turned out good for him, maybe it didn't. I mean, you know, and life is not like that. Life does not wrap up.
It's never pretty.
Right. Like, I may have a situation I'm dealing with, and the situation ends, but my life still goes on. The repercussions are still there, you know.
Sure.
The credits roll on a movie, and in the world of that movie, it still goes on past the credits. We just don't see it.
Sure.
You know, you watch the movie Speed, Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves hook up, but they're no longer trapped on a bus. Maybe they don't have that chemistry.
Yeah, maybe there's no real chemistry.
Maybe they split up after a month or so. They're like, oh, I guess, you know, this is where you live. You got cats? I'm allergic.
You mean you make how much as a shitty, you know, LAPD cop, whatever?
You know, you don't know what these people's lives were before or after. Unfortunately for Cheese, a world was created where there are several movies that he's in.
Sure.
And you watch, so this turned into more about Cheese than I wanted to, but I'm going to go there. So you watch Street Meets Pavement, and it's a movie that ends where everybody dies. And it's a movie about Cheese where he is not a shitty cop. Now, years and years and years, we were making a movie every single year where Cheese is a shitty cop and he does shitty things, and shitty things happen to him, but oh well. And the Street Meets Pavement, he's not a shitty cop anymore. He's moved on with his life. He's cleaned it up. He's got a girlfriend, wife, with a son. And suddenly this world comes back to him. This shit show that he created for himself, you know.
Sure.
Like, the taxman has come calling, he's knocking on his door, you know, you can't avoid these things forever. And so suddenly he's dealing with everything that he fucked up on. And it comes back to bite him in the ass. Godsalt, rewind a bit, and by accident, I wrote a movie that kind of syncs up with Street Meets Pavement. At the end of Street Meets Pavement, you find out that he killed his wife. And you see him tripping, and you see him see a demon that says cheese to him in this demonic voice. And then by accident in Godsalt, there is something that you can see connect with that. I really don't want to give away anything.
Don't give up too much.
But you see a connection there with like, that's where that came from. And that was all by accident. And you see that Cheese maybe starts to maybe clean up his act right here. At the end of the movie of Godsalt, you see him make a realization based on everything that happened. And, you know, it's... in life, you don't get what Cheese got.
Right.
But even with Cheese getting that, he still managed to fuck up before fully coming clean. And
sure,
life is a mess, and you can't clean up all those things. And so forth with Cheese. And with that, I would like to say that I want to make one more movie. I want to screen Godsalt. We have a date, December 18th, 6:30 p.m.
To screen?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Today.
Yeah. Where? The same place?
Same place.
Okay.
gonna get some flyers made up like my invitations, pass those out to people. No, we're good. We're good. Thank you.
Just infused alcohol.
Well, we've got this. Do you want some more?
Yeah, I do. Matter of fact,
here, go ahead and pour that. So we are going to screen Godsaw one more time.
So what was the date again?
December 18th, 6:30 p.m. We will start the movie, so people will start showing up 6 o'clock or so. And the reason why I want to screen it again is because, like I said earlier, now you can finish it, is because I want to drum up interest in my next movie. Now, I need new actors. Corey needs more than just himself to do the special effects. Corey wants to be a boss. He wants to tell people what to do.
Little do you know, I am already a boss. I do everything like a boss.
Well, now you can tell everyone else
Sure.
like a boss. So, Corey needs guys. I need new actors. I need new actresses.
And I
need a new crew.
I think if we're going to push forward another story, another script, we'll make another movie. And not that we didn't give our best effort, absolute best effort on the last one, but I say, where's the fun in doing the same thing you've already done?
Well, now hold on. Slow down. No.
Okay.
So, I have so many movies that I want to make. I've got a lot of scripts that I've already written. I've got a lot of scripts that I want to write. And I do really, 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 I'm going to start crying. I would love one day to be doing this professionally because I've got a lot of books that I want to get the rights to make into a movie and have the production value to make them. A couple Stephen King's, Chuck Palahniuk. I'd like to do a superhero movie. There's a superhero that I would really love to make a movie about.
You want to be able to do him justice.
I want to be able to do him justice. I want to be able to get the rights to him. I want someone to give me, $100 million to make a Blue Devil movie. That's the superhero movie I want to make. I want to make Invisible Monsters. I want to make Roadwork. There are movies that I want the rights to that I have a vision for. And there's even a book that I lost. Odd Thomas, they made that into a movie. And I really, really wanted to make that. And, that was one of the first crushing blows I had in my adult life is, that the door is closed.
And you realize that somebody else picked up your dream and did it for you? Or did
Not
it rather
really.
than you?
Yeah. Now, I get jealous and sometimes of other people, of filmmakers and what people do, and I get kind of possessive of my actors and things like that. And I get scared. That's where jealousy comes from, is being scared.
Absolutely.
Being afraid of...
100% accurate statement.
It's just being afraid. Now, there was this movie that kind of scared me. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. You may or may not. But I saw a trailer for it the same day yesterday. I watched a trailer for this movie that scared me.
I think I know what you're talking about, and I have not watched it yet.
You have not watched that trailer yet?
I have not watched it yet.
You know what I'm talking? You saw it on Facebook.
I did see it on Facebook, and I was going to watch it, and I just...
Well, we're not going to name names.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And
this movie scared me half a year ago when I read pages from this movie. And it scared me, and I watched the trailer and the fear kind of went away. And once again, not in a cocky, pretentious kind of way, but the fear went away because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was something else, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I'm cool with that.
Sure.
And, I do not like tooting my own horn, but I like to think I'm a good writer. And, I can't always write as well as I can, if that makes any sense.
Well, we can always do better than we do.
We can always do better than what we can do. And sometimes what we write turns into crap. God's Salt's got moments. And you know what? In hindsight, there's nothing I can do about that movie. The movie's done. You gotta let it go.
Sure.
But there's about a million things that it's oh, hey, if I had that set of time that I can go back to and have all the money in the world, I can make it a million times better. Or even just a little bit more money.
Sure.
But, I watched this trailer and it scared me before, but it doesn't scare me anymore because you know what? It's with what we had, for what we can do, to think that maybe we can only do 10% of awesome out of 100%, we actually did more than that. We went beyond the 100% with our movie. Based on what we had and what we can do, we probably did 200%. Now, that's not saying that our movie is better than the greatest movie ever made, whatever movie that is in whoever's mind. But for what we had, we did a million times better than we should have. Great actors, based on a good script.
So fucking.
There are plenty of terrible movies out there.
No, absolutely.
Terrible writing too.
And I think the writing in that
and I
made it what it could be.
It sucks how derivative I am. You know, like I love Tarantino movies and everything like that. It's hard not to be when you're influenced so highly on these things. But we did good, dude. We did really, really good. And that's what kind of got to me, is like how good we did and no one really appreciated it. Maybe we didn't get it to the right people to look at. Maybe we showed it to a person that was hoping for something else.
That's possible. And what I think in movie making and what we did do, and what we were able to accomplish with that, I think, you know, getting it to other people, because it's not all about, and it's going to sound weird, it's not all about what the finished product is. It's about seeing what the potential is, or seeing the potential of the filmmaker or the script itself, by seeing what it could have been, what it could have, you know what I mean? It's not like, hey, we're going to
at least with movies it is.
Because what would you call the budget of Godsoul? $5,000?
$500.
It was more than that. Wasn't
$1,000.
$1,000. Okay.
It doesn't feel like I spent that much money now. Maybe back then it would have felt like it, but now it doesn't feel like it. With $500 to $1,000.
Okay.
On stuff that we needed. Now, granted, I wrote the movie based on what I had. I knew where we could film. I knew what props we had already. I knew what costumes we had. I asked certain people if they had these things, and we got it together.
Sure.
Now, if we had to spend money on that, budget would have gone huge.
Yeah.
But we only spent money on what we needed.
Sure. So let's call it $1,000. Now, if you show a movie to somebody and say, you know, and they see the movie and they don't know they spent $1,000, they don't know they spent any on it.
Yeah.
But if they look at that and they look at it from the story's perspective, and at least maybe some of the direction, you know,
right,
the way the story's told, if they look at it from that perspective, that person might say, you know what, give this same person $100,000, $10,000,
$1 million,
whatever it is.
Yeah,
give this person a real budget with some you know, some. I'm not going to call our equipment not real equipment, but some real equipment, some high-end stuff. Give this person the tools to do the job the way it could be done.
Right. I can take a rock and pound in a nail.
Absolutely.
But it'd be much better, much easier with a hammer.
Hey, you get a 12-ounce claw hammer, and the nail's going to go right in. So
same job's done. You don't know how it was done when you look at it afterwards. You bring someone over, hey, check this nail out. It looks good.
Yeah.
It's like I did it with a hammer.
So,
took me 5 hours, but or I did it with a rock. It took me 5 hours. Right.
So I think.
So like you said, the finished product, how you got there. We got to the same finished product that would cost somebody more money. Blah blah blah. We did it for less.
Well, and to look at it from the perspective of what could be done with this potential, with this
ability. I give that same script to somebody with $1 million. I give that same script to somebody without all the props, without any money, and see what they can do.
And you get three completely different movies. And I think that my goal, if we're going to work on a movie together again, if we're going to make another movie, is, you know, okay, so, you know, maybe we don't have the same people we had before. Maybe we don't feel like we have the same resources we had before. But let's take advantage of the resources we do have. And let's take advantage of the learning lessons that we've had from the last movie, and from the things that we've looked at and seen after the fact and leading up to this point. Let's take those, and let's take those lessons and those licks that we've gotten from previous efforts and put them forward in the next absolute best 100%, you know, effort we can give, and not just say, well, the last one was as good as we can do. Let's take this one and go, wow, that was fucking 100% better than the last one. That was 1,000% better than the last one. Because when we pull that off and somebody goes, hey, that is way better than the last movie. Not to say the last movie was bad, not from my perspective. I liked it. And there were, you know, there's always things that you can say about certain things.
Now let's talk.
But I think from a technical perspective, there are some things that we can improve on that will make the movie that much more watchable and entertaining.
Well, now let's talk about the things that I would like to make.
Let's throw some of that out there.
All right. Now, Streaming's Pavement and God's Salt. There is a third movie I would like to make. Not going to, though. but I do want to discuss it and put it out there in the ether. There is a finale to that trilogy.
Was that the one?
This is nothing you know about.
Nothing I read. Okay.
Nothing you've read. But I didn't think there was a finale, and I know Patrick, like, based on what he went through post Godsalt, he hates the character Cheese now. He hates himself for creating it, and blah, 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 from what I understand. Not having him here, he may say something different, but, and you know, Cheese dies, quotation marks, unquotation marks, since you can't see me doing that. He dies, kind of, in Screaming's Payment. And then we make Godsalt, which kind of takes place before Screaming's Payment. And then I thought that was kind of the end of the story. You know, I got plenty of other things that I could fill in the gaps with, other characters I can write other things with, which I have, and which I do own, are other scripts. I've got plenty of Cheese scripts. But I know Patrick didn't want to do it anymore, so I thought it was over and done with. I came up in my head with a movie that would be the absolute best fucking, you know, chapter to end those 3 movies with. And I would love to make that movie. I would love to write that movie. And I would love to have Patrick to do it. But it would never happen in a million years as of right now. Maybe we make another movie and suddenly that movie becomes plausible. But I just want to put that out there. Now, there are 3 movies that I want to possibly make to choose from. 2 are already written. And the third one, which is really the one that we'll probably end up making, that I'm kind of leaning towards, has not been written yet, but I've been thinking about it a lot. And I'll probably talk to you more about it off mic, but
sure.
The first movie that I want to make is a post-apocalyptic future movie, which you read.
Right.
I would love to make it. Maybe that's the one. The second one is the sci-fi movie, the sci-fi horror film, which, have you read that one?
I also read that one.
So that one, and then another one is more along the lines of a slasher movie. But there's more going on there.
There's going to be any aliens, are there?
No, there's nothing sci-fi going on. But
no aliens, that's good.
The sci-fi post-apocalyptic movie is a trilogy and a spin-off. So that's 4 movies. The alien sci-fi horror, or the alien horror one, it's a standalone, but there's room there for other stuff. And then this new one, I would like to be a planned trilogy. Also, my production company is called Sequel. I like bringing characters back. I like seeing where they are. I like seeing where they come from. I do like that a lot, absolutely. And this one, the trilogy would not be your typical trilogy. It'd be more along the lines of the Paranormal Activity trilogy, where each of those movies went backwards.
Okay.
Not what the movies were about, but how they did the sequels. So the second sequel takes place before the first movie, or the first sequel takes place before the first movie. So
you're kind of going back in time each time?
Kind of, which I really don't want to give away anything, but okay. I mean, if we make this movie and it goes on and we get a chance to make the second one, right from the beginning, you'll know it's just a prequel. And, you know, it's funny about this movie, and it's absolutely why I want to make it, is because of where the idea came from. And I'm not going to say anything about anything. I'll talk to you about it off mic. But so...
no spoilers.
So with that, like, I've got 3 scripts. And I want to put those 3 scripts out there, and I want to have a roundtable discussion with you, other people. And I also do want to reach out to resources that I possibly could have had before, and not necessarily ask for money from someone, but help from other people that I know might want to help, and have their input on making another movie, because maybe they will want to throw out some money if they have money. And even if they don't have money, they might know people who can get us something that doesn't need to be bought. If that makes any sense. It's like, oh yeah, no, I do. I've got a warehouse full of these things that we can use. So on and so forth.
Sure.
I want to bring all these people to see Godsalt, and I want to discuss this at the end. That's pretty much everything I had to say. And that's been my life as of yesterday. And if there's anything else you want to throw out, I think I'm pretty much done.
No, I think that taking the next step and making another movie is the kind of rehab we need after After
We
getting
didn't do anything for a year.
after getting shot down so much, I mean, I could only imagine. I wasn't the one that got to open the letters when the rejections came,
the emails.
or the emails, but I can imagine what it feels like to have poured in all this, because I was waiting, impatiently on Facebook or however we were communicating about these things, and it's like, I mean, I just let one of them go through, even if it just gets screened. Like, it doesn't even have to win anything, it doesn't have to go anywhere. Just let one of them get into the festival. That's all I wanted. I just to think that would have been the coolest shit, just to have more people see it. That's all I really cared about. I don't care what they fucking think about it. I don't care if they like it. I just wanted more people to see it.
Well, let me give you an idea. Right now, my movie is probably the most owned movie that has been unwatched. Because everyone at work's like, oh, let me see it. Let me get a copy of it. I gave a bunch of people copies at work. Not one of them has watched it yet.
And no feedback.
I don't even really need feedback, because I know these people are going to give me feedback like they're fucking watching Transformers or something. Well, Transformers, and not necessarily like that or that fucking obnoxious, but like, people know of the movies that they watch. They're not going to, like, you can't go into
there's no A-list actors, there's no...
Right.
Super money special effects, although the special effects that were available were excellent. But anyway,
get back all these, whatever you're saying. Yeah, we do need the rehab, we do need the fucking.
But I think
cleansing.
The next movie, just and that's how you, like, right now you're like, oh yeah, let's make one more movie. Let's make one more movie. So let's make this next one, and then. And maybe in a year from the end of that movie,
instead of just being like, the next one will be better, the next one will be better.
No, let's say the next one is better. And then, the next one is going to be better. You think J.J. Abrams goes, that's the best as I could do, so I guess I'll just quit making movies now, or whoever it is.
It's not even like that, what I'm saying, why I don't want to make them anymore.
Sure, and I get that, but I think some reassurance of working on something, I mean, the creative outlet for me is
nothing. Like I said, I get a bunch of people my movie, and they're like, "Oh, I don't have time to watch it."
Yeah.
every day, nobody's watched it. I must have given out 10 copies. I've been burning all these copies to give to people at work. And they're like, "Oh yeah, I want to see it. I'll tell you what I thought." And they never watch it. And granted, everybody at work is working 13 days straight, 12 hours a day.
Yeah, when did you start giving them out?
Maybe, right in the middle of that, right at the beginning. And it's true, maybe they haven't,
but
you know what?
People have a couple of days off,
I'm still at home, eating dinner, getting plenty of sleep, showering, doing some chores, and watching plenty of TV.
Sure.
And I'm not saying, it's fine. Maybe they don't want to watch it, maybe they don't feel like it. There are plenty of times where I don't feel like watching any movies. I haven't watched movies in a while. I'm kind of in a TV mood. Sometimes you don't want to watch anything. Sometimes you just are busy doing stuff. Everyone's got different lives. But once again, it's that blow to my ego and everything else when they don't watch it. No, it's like, oh, hey, I know the guy that made this movie. You would think that would be enough. Even to put it on and turn it off if it doesn't catch your attention.
It's like, start watching it and you go, wow, this really fucking blows. I'm not going to watch this.
I know you love that first line. Every time you laugh your ass off when that
it's because it's fucking hilarious.
And my movie, like, I didn't pull any punches on my movie. That movie opens with the line, "You guys look like a couple of fags."
You guys look like a couple of fags.
And you know what? For all I know, every single film festival, we're like, what?
Click.
Jesus quote, and then I hear fags. I'm gay. No. This guy's anti-gay. But you know what? And that's the thing is, Detective Cheese is the guy that says that line. And you watch the movie, he's our hero, but he's flawed. Yeah. He's the guy that calls gay people fags. He's the guy that calls straight people fags. He's an asshole. He's on cocaine. He cheats on his wife. He does all these things. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to hate your hero in that movie.
And I think it's perfect because you do. You hate Cheese almost every step of the way until about the third act. When he starts coming around, he starts putting the pieces back together. And you're like, oh, fuck. And then you really start to latch onto his character. You're like, okay, well, he's a fucked up guy, but he's got it going on in the heart. He knows where he's supposed to be going, even though his life is fucked up, his career sucks, and he's done all this shit that's not good.
He's human.
Absolutely. But you realize that as bad as he is, he's still the good guy.
Right. And I chose to take the risk of putting that line at the front of the movie. The movie opens with the line, you guys look at a couple of fags. It opens with me talking about a dude fucking dead bodies and giving his girlfriend a disease. Like, it's not
not a PG movie either.
And not even that. It's not about any kind of rating or the audience. It's just a matter of, it's going to turn people off. But maybe those same people, if they would just watch through to the end, they might understand.
I've seen movies that have gone to film festivals that open up on a limp penis. So, it's like, these people have strange taste. And you know what? The people that run these festivals, either they own the festival that are vetting these movies for the screenings, or they're, the hired guns with their noses in the air that are screening these movies. So, I mean, you don't know who you're getting.
You don't know.
And you don't know, we appreciate movies for different reasons.
Right.
And I've told you,
I'm willing to watch any movie and every movie.
Yeah. And you know what? I have only
I'm willing to like
off,
any movie.
I have only turned off
God's Salt.
Dude, I like that movie. I've only turned off like 1 or 2 movies where I didn't just tough it out.
Oh God, the amount of movies that I've toughed out.
Sure, and that's what I mean. Like
I'm never getting that time back.
No, I mean, you'll watch an hour and a half movie that completely blows.
10 years I might like the movie.
You never know.
You never know.
But like I said, I've only turned off a couple of movies. A handful of movies. Yeah, sure. I mean, half a dozen at best. But you don't know how other people appreciate movies.
Every movie is somebody else's favorite movie.
Absolutely. Because, every movie that was ever made, it was that director's best effort on that day. When they made that movie, that was the best movie they could make.
Right.
Even if the movie fucking
people
sucked.
do not go in planning on making a crappy movie.
And I think we've said that on different episodes. It's like you don't
But
go
that's
in
got to
thinking,
be the biggest point. These people that don't watch movies that often
Or-
or don't understand everything, like, they didn't make this movie yesterday. They probably made this movie a year ago. Maybe it's out on a shelf for another year.
Yeah.
It's... You get up... Corey, so you get up and you go to JCPenney's and you buy a shirt. Or you order something online and it comes to you.
Sure.
I work at JCPenney's warehouse and I get up and I'm working fucking 12 hours and I do my job there so that you can get your shirt sent to you, so that we can get these shirts to the store so that they're stocked.
Absolutely.
And there are people that don't care, don't understand. Making movies the same way. These guys aren't just making billions of dollars off of these movies.
They're also
for nothing.
investing their lives in
They do invest their lives in it, and you know what? It's an astronomical number to understand how these people can just get up there and do it, but not everyone can do it. And I'm not saying it's a hard job, but it is a hard job sometimes. Sometimes it's an easy job. Sometimes it's just a paycheck. Sometimes it's a passion. And it's really hard to get past the amount of money that certain people make on certain movies and how much it takes to make a certain movie.
How much money is spent on making a movie.
Right.
And then you start talking about
$200 million.
Yeah, amounts of money that you could never fathom having.
Right.
Especially
And
a couple of
someone's
guys,
getting,
a couple of guys sitting in a garage making a fucking podcast that 3 people listen to per week. We think, man, if we could spend like an easy $1,000 on this movie,
right? If we just had $1,000 right now in our pocket, opposed to like, hey, I gotta get up and go to work 5 days a week. Wait until the next paycheck comes around for me to spend $20 on something we need yesterday.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it comes down to is we don't have this big budget. We don't have a big checkbook.
I'm broke this week. I can't pay for the $1 hamburgers that we need to eat just for you guys for helping me out.
Yeah, we have $5 or $10.
Right? Is it okay if you buy this?
So that I can go out and buy. I can go to the surplus store and buy some stupid prop that we need that really brings the scene together. Or I can you're borrowing shit and
you're borrowing things. You're asking,
but
like, hey, what kind of car do you got? We need it in the scene. Can you bring it?
Yeah. So we're asking
Is it okay
favors.
if we
We're
drive over
borrowing
100?
shit. And I think that's what it boils down to with guerrilla filmmaking and with independent filmmaking.
I want to start crying thinking about everything that we just said. How much work we put into making a movie, and how
you know why though?
hard it is to do just that. Like, I'm thinking about that, waiting for a paycheck to pay for something that we need to finish a movie that everyone's invested their lives in. The fucking people in our movie who almost ruined the movie. How people fucking put their lives and their time and their money and their effort to make a movie, and it almost fucking crashes at the finish line.
But we made
And that's
it.
my fault.
It's your goddamn fault. No, but
My
we
choice
made
and
it
my
across the
decision.
line.
The people that got pissed off when that shit went down the way it did, I felt like killing myself. Not literally, but like I felt that low.
Figuratively.
I felt that low. Like, these people are here. We've been working our asses off all day, today, let alone the previous 2 months. And here we are about ready to finish, and someone is about ready to ruin this movie. Literally, nearly fucking ruined the movie. You weren't even there.
I wasn't there.
You weren't even
I was
there.
busy working my 40-hour-a-week job
So that you could fucking...
so that I could put money into a movie that I had a 3-second scene in.
Dude, you did all the effects, man.
I
You
know.
came through like a fucking champ.
That's part of my favorite thing to do is watch that movie. And it just how good they came off for what we had.
The head, I love the head. And you know what?
I still have the head.
Keep it forever. And you know what?
I use
wanna
it for
do?
Halloween direction.
I'm looking at... We'll talk. You know,
We're gonna talk movies and stuff later.
Oh God, no! I'm getting all upset and emotional. Like, I really, really wanted to make movies for a living, and you know what? I wanted everyone else to come along with all that. If one person got famous, they'd help out everyone else. It doesn't matter who.
And you know what? We're gonna keep working on that because making movies is a lifestyle that we've already committed ourselves to doing this. And if we give up, we're fucking pussies. Okay?
Once again, it's not about giving up.
It's not about giving up. So, like I said, the next movie is the rehab we need. Let's get through the screening. Let's talk to some people. And you know what? Some fresh faces would be nice. You know, and not to say anything bad about the people that we've had before. You know, I love all the...
Too much water under that bridge.
Well, not only that, but I mean, everybody's got lives. They have other projects they're working on. I've seen a lot of work going on with some of the other people that we've had on the movie. And that's great. You know, I'm proud of them for persevering and going on and making movies because actors don't work with one director. I don't think it's fair to expect anybody to work with one director. And I don't think that it's fair for
Fuck
anybody.
you, Corey.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's fair.
What did I say about...
And it's and that's the jealousy is you as a director, those are your actors because they've played your characters. And
I grew up with these people.
And
They
absolutely.
grew up with me.
And at that time and during those times, I'm sure they had nothing but respect and well, maybe not nothing but respect, but you know, you guys worked together and you did your thing. And if they're serious about careers in the field, they need to move on and keep doing things. Not that working with you is a bad idea. I think it would be great to work with them again. But let's freshen it up. Let's move along. Let's do some other things. And who knows? Maybe, you know, in
Credit number 2
In
on
10 years.
IMDb. You know, fucking Mr. Matthews was in God's Salt, and
He
he's
was.
got prior credits on IMDb.
Right.
Like, he's the biggest name in our movie, and I am the person that got him to do that.
which I thought was awesome.
Because he was so stubborn and so adamant about not acting and not doing this and not doing that. I got him to be in my movie.
winning.
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 Alright, anyways,
So we're gonna make another movie after we screen the next one.
I'm Matthew Bonta.
And I'm Corey Easley.
Thank you.